What's everybody? What's up, everybody? It's Thursday, April 2nd, and we're back with Constant MTG. I'm your host, Jared. Next to me is Carl, and across the way is my co-host, who also has a 3 degrees in physics. I didn't even know you could do that. Ian, welcome back. We missed last week, so I'm just so happy to see your face and to hear Zach's voice.
Yeah, yeah. I think like this should just be how we start every stream. With Carl perched atop, and that's a if so. Carl's a new addition to your family,
Yes.
and Carl's also a Maine Coon. So I think it would be fun to see him on your shoulder 6 months from now, when he's he's his full Maine Coon size.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a fleeting endeavor here. He likes to sit on my shoulder, but with not too long from now, he's gonna be about 30 pounds and the size of a dog. So,
Yeah.
uh, look at those mitts, man. You should be a
Yeah,
boxer, Carl.
he's a big boy. He's a
Yeah,
big
he's a
boy.
big guy. He's a big guy. Yeah, got Carl very excited. May or may not be a reference to Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is a book series that I've just fallen in love with and gotten on the hype train. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, we got him. He's 8 weeks old as of Monday, so it was like the first possible time that we could adopt him. With
Yeah.
vaccines and safety and all
Yep.
that good stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
welcome, Carl. Not to take anything away from Boris. We still love you, Boris, but Carl is a new addition.
Yeah. Boris is here to stay. Boris is here to
Boris!
stay. Um Hunter, our resident hunter, our lovely hunter, uh is saying that you should have a Johnny as a piggyback. It'd be like a Johnny on a piggyback ride. I'm all about it.
Yes.
I also see a Zixa's back. Man, Stranger
We got the whole
Danger.
gang.
Got the whole gang. Ethan. Oh my God, Ethan's here. It's gonna
We
be a
got
good
everybody.
night. It's gonna
It's
be a
going to be a
good
good
night.
night. Well,
Hmm.
that being said, let's get into it. It's been a couple of weeks. We did have our second episode of Constant Misplays come out. Want to just give that a quick nod. Go check that out.
Hmm.
Uh, that was a really funny game. And, man, I just want to be able to talk. Like, when do I get to do spoilers? When do I get to talk about what happened? Maybe a few weeks from now. But
Yeah,
I think the way that game ended was funny because it was sort of an accidental end.
it was an accident. And every nerve in my body has to keep me from spoiling it. I think the rule might be that when the next one comes out, that's grounds to be able to talk about the last one that was published.
Yeah,
Uh,
maybe that's the move. When we premiere the next one, we can actually do like a debrief of the first one.
yeah,
That's fair. I think that's a great idea.
yeah.
So please go check that out. That was a good one. We did also record our next episode of Constant Misplays at our last event,
Hmm.
which was fabulous. Ian, as always,
Hmm.
throws a great Constant MTG, Constant List party, and we had a blast. And we actually had a special guest join us. Who is almost always in the chats. So, Hunter, I didn't check to see if you're in there yet, but
He is.
appreciate you
He's there.
jumping in there. That's amazing. Well,
I called
hello,
him
Hunter.
out. I already called him out, and you already ignored him. So, once again, this is why he comes in and harasses us in chat, is because you do shit like this, and
This is exactly why he says that Ian is better constantly.
Um,
just
we
saying.
gotta listen. Hunter and I have a special thing on the side. I'm not worried about it. Public
Oh.
persona, hate me all you want, but we're besties. Behind closed doors.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, Yeah, we got to get off topic before we go deeper into that whole lore. But, agenda for tonight, it's going to be a tight one. We're going to try to get through everything without burning the midnight oil. There's some Secrets of Strixhaven spoilers, SOS,
Yep.
uh, that are like blowing me away. This set
Yep.
sort of, I didn't expect a ton from this set. I really like the lore of Strixhaven, but in terms of in-universe, Lorwyn was what I was most excited about. I
Yep.
am somehow almost just as excited, maybe paired or parity with excitement on Secrets of Strixhaven. So we're going to do that. And then we are going to deck tech. And the deck tech for tonight is Y'shtola. And the reason we're deck teching Y'shtola is because the next episode of Constant Misplays, I run her. So we wanted to make sure you had the deck list and kind of knew what to expect from that deck before the episode. And that's it for now. I've got nothing from the mailroom, which feels responsible, but also a little sad on my behalf. But maybe next week. This putting me on notice. I need to order some cards anyway. So there you go.
It's that time. It's that time. Yeah, I'm super excited about Secrets of Strixhaven and the Commander sets. There's been spoilers for those two that I think we're gonna get to tonight. There's some good stuff, dude. And original Strixhaven was it was good, but it took a minute for me to really wrap my head around the things that were good in it. It kind of reminds me, and Zach's gonna laugh, but Outlaws of Thunder Junction, I have come to understand is just a banger. As long as it took me to get there, there are so many cards in that set that are just so good. I feel like Strixhaven kind of got to that point.
Outlaws.
Yeah, Outlaws. It's like Zach's favorite set. I've almost like wanted you to just play with a cowboy hat on because you always have Outlaws in your deck.
I've got a couple of them over there.
There's
Yeah.
only one thing better than an outlaw. It's a mercenary, but mercenaries are outlaws. Outlaws aren't necessarily mercenaries. It's a bit of a square and
Correct. Yes.
rectangle type situation. Yeah.
Yes.
I will say this.
So yeah.
My first impression of the original Strixhaven was probably similar to most, which it felt like a cheap imitation. We won't call out the IP when Wizards announced it, but I actually think, in terms of a wizarding school that has different colleges or different schools or houses within them, I actually think Wizards did probably the best job we've seen. And I'm a fan of a lot of these shows and movies. So, like The Magicians is a great show that sort of is also a nod to a very famous wizarding school IP. And so I'm a big fan, and I had high hopes for Strixhaven, but I definitely was concerned. And it blew me away. I love it.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I will say, and we'll get into it too, but like, I kind of like what they do in Orzhov more in Strixhaven than in Orzhov.
Yes.
I like Prismari more than Izzet. I'm on the fence about the Boros colors. I'm kind of an old Boros guy, but I do like the red white colors. And Golgari, you could do anything with Golgari, and I'll be fine with it. So
Yep.
Yep.
100%.
Same.
I think the other thing I will say, just before we get into the spoilers, there's been a lot of chatter on Reddit just about how Strixhaven has only done 5 of the color pairs, and people want another 5 color pairs. Obviously, that's not happening this time, but I think the other brilliant thing about Strixhaven, and I'll say this too about Edge of Eternities, is it seems like there are so many more places we could go if we revisit these places. So I think there's just longevity in the play, which is exciting for me.
I do. Yeah, I think yes. There's a ton of since they already went to 5, and I totally forgot about Quandrix, but I love Quandrix too. It's a cool and if you do math on a card in a game that's based around math, I think that's a triple win for me. But yeah, I mean, I would be curious to see if they do the other 5 colors, which would be cool. I think it would be really cool because those would be the ally colors. So they did all the enemy colors, right?
Yep.
For this, so they'd be doing the ally colors in whatever else they would do. Which who knows?
Yeah, you could go so many different places with it. You could go master's degrees or allied colors or something, or there's 5 extra schools that show up that
Yeah.
that we didn't know existed, or I mean, there's just a lot of places to go.
Well, because
So
we would need 5 new Elder Dragons because the schools are based on the Elder Dragons.
what if they did Elder Demons for the
Well,
allied colors or
that's if they
something?
keep it in the schools. They, like I get it.
I guess, yeah, you could do
Ravnica,
something else in
Ravnica was
Arcavios.
the guilds.
Yep.
Ravnica was the guilds, so maybe you'd keep it in the schools, but I don't know. They haven't alluded to any other schools that haven't already been, you know, like they're not already a part of the multiverse, the world we're in.
Yep.
Um,
Ethan in
Yeah.
chat said, I like reinvention of red white with the lore hold, the artifact focus previously, and now leaves the graveyard in this set. I agree. I know, Ian, you said that you weren't such a fan of lore hold, but I don't typically like Boros.
I am,
and I like.
but
okay.
But I love Boros. It's tough
Okay.
because it does two different things, and I think both of them are cool. And there's I won't say new mechanics in this set, but there's mechanics in this set that they're leaning into that I'm actually really excited about. And I don't want to spoil any yet, but there's a couple cards that I will absolutely nerd out about that you'll probably not expect me to nerd out about, which
That's
is
great.
exciting. Yeah,
That's amazing. I was just going to say, Lorehold does scratch the archaeology, anthropology itch for me. I just like that. It seems like everybody in Lorehold's like a future professor, which is fun. So, yep, I love it. Well, let's get right into it. I will say I've only seen just a very few of these spoilers. I on purpose wanted to have kind of live reactions. I know you both have taken the spoilers for a ride, so I'm back and experience.
I see every card because I am the resident spoiler in our Discord server.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Zach is like our Discord like spoiler king. And yeah, he's always on it. Also, feel free to join our Discord, jump in, check out our Patreon, all that good stuff. We'll talk more about that later. But we post all of our spoilers as they come out. Zach does an amazing job at that. And then we have lots of great discussion too in there. It's always fun to see what people get excited about. I think that's one thing I'm always anxious to see every time we go through spoiler season is like, what are people going to be really digging? And there's always somebody that throws something out there that I'm like, man, I didn't even think about using that the way that they just talked about it, or it's a cool space. We got a good group of people.
Yeah, I'm loving it. Say hi to chat here.
All right.
With that, let's go ahead and get into it then.
Let's do it.
Ahead. We'll pull up constant-lists.com and where we can go ahead and see all the spoilers. Here we've got Secrets of Strixhaven set code and Secrets of Strixhaven commander code in here. All of the rarities that are uncommon and greater that are not a reprint. So we've got all the heaters here. Some of this, I think there's some stuff that was previewed today that isn't in the database or anything yet, but we're stay tuned because we're updating that every day on the site.
Yeah, and we refreshed before the stream just to be sure we caught as much as we could that was available through Scryfall. And this is what we have so far through their database. So shout out to Scryfall for being amazing, because they definitely are incredible.
Yeah.
All right. So, we could just start going through. I figured if there's any cards row by row that we really want to dig into, we can. We talked about this ahead of time. We're not going to go through every card. Obviously, if there's a card in chat, if you want to leave a card in chat that you really see that you want us to chat through, please do. We would love to see what people are excited about in our chat. But yeah, just this first row, I would say the one here that I'm kind of the most excited about would be Abstract Performance. That really is, I'd say, the one that jumps off the most for me. What about you guys?
For me, I I actually really like Abigail. I think she's a really interesting, cool kind of commander. Like Orzhov cares about creatures and counters matters. And we get to talk about the prepared mechanic. If we want to go ahead and start off with that, kick that off.
Yeah,
that's exactly. You're on the same page as me, Zach. I was going to say, let's
take
prepare.
a look at this. It's got a. Looks like because of the dual spell, it looks a little. Looks a little off.
It is because of the dual spell. Let me take a screenshot of that. That's totally 100% how it's supposed to be.
It's a head turn. That's all.
It is a head turner.
Well, we'll pull it up here. Sorry, 1 second. I lost my search. So just pulling that back up real quick. SOC. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Abigail, Poet Laureate. What you'll notice here is that she kind of looks like an adventure.
Yep.
If you haven't been keeping up, what this looks like here is on the bottom right of this creature is a spell that Abigail has prepared. A prepared spell you can cast if a creature is prepared. Doing so makes it unprepared. So a lot of these creatures, if they don't enter prepare, will spell out how to prepare them like Abigail does. So for Abigail, whenever you cast a creature spell, she becomes prepared, meaning, so you spend 3 mana, you get Abigail on the board. She enters, she's a flying 2/3 for 3. However, the next time you cast a creature spell, she becomes what's called prepared, which means that you can pay the 1 and hybrid Orzhov on the bottom right there for Heroic Stanza and do this effect, which will unprepare Abigail. And then you cast a creature spell, she becomes prepared again, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. I think prepared is one of my favorite mechanics they've done in a long time. I know, hot take.
I think it's awesome.
It's amazing. It's great
cool.
lore-wise, and it also gives Wizards a space to effectively reprint cards that are busted and make them fair and balance them. In sort of kind of a fun mini game kind of way. So this definitely taps in. Thinking back to our topic about fun games, I think prepared is just a fun mechanic. It's fun to do it. I'm curious before I go to y'all, other opinions, but do we get a token for this? Are we putting a coin on top? Like, how do you signal that something is prepared?
So I did see that at least in the pre-con decks, I'm sure maybe something will come like in like booster packs or something like they did kind of with Karlov Manor with like cases and Duskmourn with rooms where there was a little cutout thing you can put on something to indicate. I did see that in the pre-con decks they come with a little cutout that says if something is prepared.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I love it. So yeah, what do y'all think?
I think prepared, just like you said, I think this is one of the most interesting mechanics that has come out of, Wizards crack R&D team in a good while. I think it's such a cool way to add some versatility to a creature and like for like Abigail, like have a spell that you can always cast in the command zone essentially. Like that tells you what you want to be doing with this deck even more so than just creatures. Like, okay, we're doing creatures and we're doing +1/+1 counters. I mean, there's ways you can do that on a normal card, but doing it in a way that you can do repeatedly and with mana. I mean, it's essentially like it's an activated ability, right? But it's pretty sweet. You get cast triggers off of it. It is a spell, so it can be countered. There's lots of cool things about it that I just love.
Well, Zach, you brought up a very good point, and I hadn't considered this. It's almost a nod to Oathbreaker, isn't it? It's a signature spell for a commander in this case, which is cool.
Basically, yeah. I mean, if you're not familiar with Oathbreaker, it's a commander-like format where you get a Planeswalker as your commander, and you get a signature spell that you can only cast if your Planeswalker commander is on the battlefield.
Yeah. I think like for it almost kind of like is a Planeswalker light kind of mechanic too. Like it really, it kind of spruces up or gives the card that it's on more personality. It I don't know. It just seems like it's more than just an activated ability. You know what I mean? Like there's a strategy involved typically with all of them. Um, kind of like what you said, Zach. Like you're doing creatures. You're doing +1/+1 counters with this card in the mix in some way, shape, or form. But it is a very like I don't know. It just feels very thoughtful with how you're going to integrate a card like this into a deck or build a deck around a card like this as well.
What also works really well with every school has their own mechanic for the set. Silver Quill, which Abigail is a part of, is repartee, which cares about targeting creatures you control. So it actually works really well for that mechanic as well, even though it doesn't have the mechanic printed on it.
I love it. Before we move on, because I know we need to, the other thing I was just going to say too about prepared, and this is another this is why I like Magic. You have to commit a certain amount of resources to pull the thing off, to prepare and do the thing. And I love it when you're facing multiple scenarios where, let's say, you are going to prepare, on your opponent's turn, but the spell that you would cast once you're prepared is sorcery speed. You have to sort of make it to your main phase before you can do the thing. And so there's a risk it for the biscuit kind of scenario with these cards that I like. I think it creates more whole games that feel like so many different variables of things could happen.
Yeah.
Well, and then it also can dip into just making cards that maybe you wouldn't have played before, cards that you play now, like cards that maybe give spells flash that you wouldn't have thought about playing before. Maybe you're going to do that now. I mean, like I have a few Vidalcan orreries. I'm not going to lie. I think it's a great card, but maybe I start slipping that into decks that I wouldn't have slipped that card into before. So there are a lot of cool things that it might push you. And this is what I think is really cool is it mentally for me, it's pushed me into thinking differently about how I might build some things, and what cards I might consider when I am building things with these cards. It's cool.
Love it. I'm sure we'll talk about a few of these, but that was the biggest mechanic I think that deserved talking about. Ian, why don't you let's talk about your card, man. Let's talk about the abstract performance.
I was gonna say, screw my card, dude. Let's move on.
Your card is good. It's from the Prismari Precon.
Yeah, it's just, it's kind of like Fact or Fiction-y, kind of not instant speed, but it's one of those, make two piles, your opponent chooses one, and you get to do stuff with it. It's cool. It's fun. I like those kind of cards.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Let's
All right,
move
let's
on.
keep cruising.
What a dumb card I picked. All right, let's keep going.
All right, let's go into the second row here. Jared, does anything shout out to you in this one?
Yeah, something is shouting out in Japanese to me right now, actually.
So we can pull it up here because we get to see the Oracle text here. So this is, I believe, I don't actually know what the actual name of the card here is. I think it's Biblioplex something, or maybe it's just, let me see.
Yeah, it's weird. I couldn't find the name of it either.
I think,
but it is pretty good.
It is very good. I had to read that 5 ability twice just now to see.
It is
exactly what's happening.
It is the Great Hall of the Biblioplex is the name of the card.
All right.
And we've got the Oracle text here up because we do have that at least. But it's a land that can tap for colorless. You can tap it, pay a life to add a mana of any color, only to cast an instant or sorcery. And then you can pay 5 generic mana to make this land, if it is not a creature, it becomes a 2/4 wizard creature with whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn, and it still lands. So it's not a 1 turn, man land
It's
effect.
forever.
It becomes a land.
Have we ever done that with a man land?
What's
yes,
that?
they have like Soulstone Sanctuary.
Okay. Like becoming a
Yeah,
permanent
Soulstone
creature.
Sanctuary, you pay 4 and it becomes a 3/3 creature with vigilance and all creature types.
Aha. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But infrequent for sure. The typical man
Yeah.
land is you're paying a low rate for a creature until end of turn, and then it goes back to just a land. I like this. I'm also curious. This is prowess, right? But they didn't say
It's
it.
semi-prowess.
It's prowess light. It's prowess light.
Okay.
It's only power, not power and toughness.
But like this goes
so
in any spell casting deck, right? Like
Oh,
any
for
spell
sure.
slinger deck.
Absolutely.
I'm
actually. Here's
go
the
ahead.
deal. I think the downside on the mana of any color, of paying a life, the Sea of Brass, is really interesting on this card because it signals to me that this card is really busted, and they probably didn't start with that. But then that 5 mana and turn it into a wizard with mini prowess was so powerful that they had to sort of make an adjustment. That's my speculation here, because I look at this and I go, do you really have to pay 1 life just to add a mana of any color, and it's only for instants or sorceries? And in my mind immediately goes to like, oh, they had to tone this thing down a little bit.
I mean, they've also kind of been doing that for the gold lands recently, like with Final Fantasy Starting Town is kind of like the same thing. Tap, pay life, add mana of any color. Multiversal Passage is kind of like a shock land for basic types.
Yeah.
So I've kind of been doing a little bit. We do have Hunter has a card request.
All right. Is it Itali?
No.
Berta.
Berta Wise Extrapolator. So this has also a new mechanic here.
Let me talk about this. This is, man, Hunter, you and me are the same person. So increment is probably the mechanic I am the most excited about in this entire set. Increment is whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana you spent is greater than this creature's power or toughness, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. I'm a huge mutate nerd. I love the mutate mechanic. And I also love mechanics like Pelt Collector, Yorvo, Experiment 1, where it matters that the thing that comes in has a higher power or toughness than the creature itself. So this is like my favorite mechanic right now that has been shared with this new set. It rewards you for doing bigger and bigger things with your spells. And it is any spell, so that's also really cool. The first time I read this, I was like, oh, is this like, oh, it's just instants or sorceries, because that's just where my brain went with Strixhaven immediately. But after I read it 1 or 2 more times, I was like, oh no, this is any spell. Like I could cast a creature, whatever I want. And as long as the mana cost of that is larger than, in this case, 1, I get to put a 1/1 counter on this creature, and then I want to cast my 3-drop, right? So, and especially being in blue-green, I mean, come on, like you're doing so much stuff with ramp and land potentially that there are just tons of things that you can do here. You can get this really big. The other thing, obviously, that's really cool about this, the other abilities are cool as well. But
yeah, like if it just had increment, that's a cool card on its own. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but then every time you put a 1/1 counter on it, and it doesn't have to be from its increment ability, but just any 1/1 counter, you add 1 mana of any color. So that's almost, it's like Lotus Cobra, but with a different mechanic altogether. And it cares about 1/1 counters. And then, for X and tapping Berta, you can make the 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token and put X 1/1 counters on it. So it's, you can make a big little dude off of it if you have the mana. You can obviously use the mana to fuel the incrementing her. And then obviously you get mana anytime you put a 1/1 counter on her. So like ability to move 1/1 counters or counter manipulation of any sort is really cool here. It's a super cool mechanic. Like I'm really stoked on Increment, and also just the Quandrix school is very very up my alley.
You did miss the most important part of this card.
What's that? That it's a frog druid?
It's a frog. We're getting more frogs, and they actually called it out in the weekly MTG stream that there are people inside of Wizards that are pushing and pushing for more and more frogs. They know what we want.
I mean, give the people what they want, you know?
Give them what they want. This is the most blue-green card I've ever seen in my life. I thought Coma was the most blue-green card I'd seen, but this is the one. This is it.
That's
all right. Let's keep cruising.
Let's go to the next line here. We've got a few precon cards. Actually, these are all precon cards on this next line. But we've got another card to finish out the cycle of the cycling lands. Coastal Peak is the blue and red version of that. I do like this card, and I think Jared is going to like this card too. Changing Loyalty.
Yeah, I was going to say I really like this card for my Ariete deck, which I hope to deck tech someday. But this card is freaking cool, dude.
It's amazing.
Also, yeah. We've seen Jared really likes the Undying Effect card, so I knew this was right up his alley.
Yep.
If you're just listening,
it does have flash, so it meets some of my prerequisites for going into Deadpool. The only unfortunate thing is it is not targetable on an Isokrom Scepter, but definitely still worth throwing in there. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you're just listening, you've got us in the background. This is Changing Loyalty is an aura enchantment for 1 and a black with flash. It also has Replicate 2. So whenever you cast it, you can copy it for each time you pay the replicate cost. And you enchant a creature, any creature, does not have to be yours. When enchanted creature dies, return it to the battlefield under your control.
You get to take people's stuff with a board wipe.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
You flash this out in response to a board wipe. Hey, guess what? I'm getting all of the things that we wanted off the board.
Yep.
That's so good.
And the replicate is just so darn silly. And in Ariete, if you're not familiar with Ariete from Outlaws, if you put this on a 2-drop or a 1-drop creature, you gain control of it at that time. And then if it dies, you get it back again.
Oh, God.
It's really good. It's really good. It's only 2. It's only a 2-drop. It's crazy. You get to steal stuff for 2 mana. Most of the creatures you'd put this on are gonna die at some point in the game, anyways.
I hate it, but I love it too, Ian. And I'll shameless plug my deck that everybody hates, like your Ariete deck. In Deadpool, you swap text box with somebody, and then you enchant this on that creature, and they always want to kill it, and when they kill it, it comes back to you with the
you could cast this in response to them killing it, and then you get it back.
Right. Gross.
It's so gross.
It comes out of nowhere. Yeah, I love it.
It's really gross. Imagine like all the people that are going to do some silly like sacrifice outlet nonsense, and you're like, yeah, that's cool. You could do that, and then you just cast this on the thing that they want to bring back. Or oh my gosh, there's just so many things you could do with this. It's
Zach, you were correct.
It's really cool.
Yeah. I love it. Yes. I can't wait.
I know you.
I do want to. You do. You know me. I want to check out the 5-mana board wipe. It seems like we have entered into an era where every set they've got a new 5-mana board wipe. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but let's give it a read. This one is destroy all creatures, then create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token for each non-token creature you controlled that was destroyed this way. This one is cool. There's a lot of these are just sort of on the extra text, I suppose, but this one's pretty cool. I do like this one.
Yeah,
this one is good. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I mean, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, this is from the Lorehold Precon, and I think this is so good. because also in the Lorehold Precon, your commander is Quintorius, who's not a creature, so you're not losing your commander.
Oh, I love this. I love that
Yep.
thought of using that with a Planeswalker commander. It's like
This will go in.
this will go in.
Yeah, this will go in Ilminster almost non-negotiably for
Yeah.
that same exact reason.
Yeah.
And this is definitely, I mean, in a lot of cases, even if you're playing it in a deck with where you do just have creatures, right? This can definitely be a one-sided board wipe. And if you have any way at all to give those creatures haste, this could be this could win you the game.
Yep.
No questions asked.
Yeah. Very, very true.
Solid.
All right. Let's
Keep it
move
going.
into the next line here. So we've got some cool stuff. Another one that I think Jared would like here that we'll talk about real quick is
I
Coercive
love this
Impetus.
segment. What would Jared like? This is nice.
Coercive Impetus. It's a 2 and a black enchantment aura. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and is goaded. And whenever enchanted creature attacks, you draw a card and lose 1 life.
So this is part of an impetus cycle. This is a secret cycle that spans many sets.
Yes.
The impetus cycle, Ghoulish Impetus is the one I could think of off the top. And then there's the red one that has like a weird raccoon monkey creature. But, you enchant a creature, give it some perks, and goad it. And so, yes, you're right. I do like this a lot.
Clark Kibo, WWJL. What would Jared like?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I mean, again, like Ariette wants this too. It's good. The impetus cycle is really cool. And I found that there are typically good reasons to put many of them in many different decks.
Yep.
You
I run 2
probably
of
know
them.
you probably know what I'm excited about in this row.
Yeah.
Isn't that cube over there?
It's the cuboid colony.
Cuboid colony. I was gonna call it out.
Yo, what? Okay, number one, this is freaking cool because the bees are flying in the shape of a cube. That's already badass enough. But it's also a 2-drop with flash, with flying, with trample, which is
Flample is great.
Flample in green-blue is real weird.
Yeah, flampling is very unique. There's not a lot of flamplers, native flamplers.
It's mostly demons that flample, right?
It's mostly demons.
Rakdos flamples in all of its iterations.
Yeah, Rakdos flamples. There's a few flamplers out there, but it is not a super common combination of keywords. And it's got increment, dude. And like, I'm so on increment. I love it so much to the point where I almost want to. I probably will make a deck with increment at its center, or include it, get it into some sort of like that mechanic type deck. It is just so freaking cool.
2 things.
Rakdos flamples from Hunter.
Rakdos
but yeah,
flamples.
this card's great.
I would like to vie to rename this card Flampling Insect Box, because I think that would be a better and cooler name. And then the other thing is, I think this is going to be massively busted in limited and standard. It kind of it's got like Sprite Dragon vibes a bit.
Yeah,
I would say.
Dude, that's what it is. It's like Sprite Dragon, but in green and blue.
Yep. It's better. Well, I don't know. I guess
Sprite Dragon is anytime you cast an instant or sorcery,
non-creature spell.
Sure, but it's got flample. Sprite Dragon don't have no flample.
No, it doesn't.
Sprite Dragon's got haste. We've got it on the screen, but I think, I mean, going back to what you said about this being great for limited and standard, flying wins games, like especially in limited. Like if you see an early pick, anything that flies, and this is flying, trample, and gets bigger. This is a massive uncommon to pull out of a pack in like a draft or in your pre-release. If you see this, like, if you can go green blue, go green blue.
This pulls you hard, and it solves a problem. Whenever I play Simic, I'm always looking to make my green stompies fly with the blue. So you,
Mhm.
you put your big stompies out in green and then figure out how to fly them in blue. And this solves all the problems. I love it. I love this card. It's a good one.
Very good. Let's go to the next one here, and I will talk about this one here because I think it's my favorite commander of the set is Dina. Dina Essence Brewer.
Dina, dude.
Because
Dina.
I love sacrifice, I love graveyard shenanigans, and Golgari and Witherbloom are all about that.
Yep.
Dina is 1 and Golgari colors, so 1 black green to cast. She's a Dryad Druid, and whenever you sacrifice a creature, draw a card. This ability only triggers once each turn, which is kind of unfortunate, but whatever. But you can also pay 2 and tap her to sacrifice another creature. You will gain X life and put X +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, where X is the sacrifice creature's power. That is so cool.
Do we have alt art on this one? I'm just curious. This is the commander, right?
This is the commander from the Witherbloom precon, yeah. Right now, there's no alt art. It's just this is the one we've got here. But I mean, it's great
because this is an extended border, so this is not the one that comes to the precon unless they're hooking us up with extended, which I doubt.
No, this is cool. This is full borderless.
That's what I mean. Like this board, they don't do borderless for the commanders in the precon.
Yeah,
they do. Is
that true? Am I crazy?
I'm like pretty sure they do.
They didn't do it for Final Fantasy, but they do it for most of the sets.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sitting here looking at my Final Fantasy commander, and I'm like, they didn't. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, this card it's good. It's just value, man. Like I think about there's so many cards that just do good stuff with just one of these mechanics, let alone both. And I think about what's the freaking it's gonna drive me nuts. The black dude that
Morbid Opportunist.
Morbid Opportunist, yeah.
Yep.
Morbid Opportunist has drawn me so many cards, and this is
kind
of that, like in a different form, but it's still like in green and black you can find a bajillion ways to sacrifice creatures.
Lots of ways.
And almost all the right ways to sacrifice are free sacrifice outlets that don't require taps. So this once per turn clause seems like a restriction, but it's kind of BS. Like it's a fake restriction in an aristocrat's deck.
Yeah.
And if you get really good.
Yeah, if you get stuff out there, like that untaps her each turn, you could just activate her own ability each turn if you wanted to, and just draw and draw and draw. And there's also plenty of cards out there. I have a Dina, Zimone and Dina. There we go. I got there. I have a Zimone and Dina deck, and that whole deck cares about drawing multiple cards or drawing 2 or more cards per turn. So this would honestly, I might just put this in there because a big aspect of that deck is sacrificing creatures to draw, because it's in Sultai. Yeah, man, this card's cool.
Well, the deck that this one comes with actually has a bunch of free sack outlets.
New ones or reprints?
Reprints. Umbral Color Zealot, which is
great,
came out like less than a year ago.
Edge of Eternities. Yep.
Viscera Seer, Yeheni.
You get a Viscera Seer in the deck?
Yeah.
Viscera Seer is like an $11 card.
Viscera Seer has been reprinted a ton. It's a pretty cheap one now.
Yeah, it's not super bad anymore.
Am I thinking of Carrion Feeder? Is that the other one?
Carrion Feeder is also one, but it's also not super expensive.
Carrion Feeder is not in the deck, but is a really good card. That one's also been reprinted a ton. Do we need to recalibrate Jared's pricing algorithms?
We do.
Get on that, Ian?
Yeah, I'll start the upload.
All right, perfect.
Oh my god, I feel it. It hurts. It hurts.
The other card in this row though that I wanted to just quickly shout out is that Defiling Demogoth.
Yes.
Which is just, it's also just really good. It gives me like a lot of vibes from. I'm like spacing on card names tonight, but the Devotion to Black.
Gary?
No, yeah, Gary. Yeah, Gary. The Devotion to Black Drainer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. Asphodel, Gray Merchant of Asphodel.
Grave Merchant of Asphodel. Thank you. Jeez Louise. Yeah, it's got those vibes, but every single end of your turn that's happening. It's pretty cool. And obviously in a life gain deck, which you can go pretty hard with black and green. I'm assuming I think this is in the Golgari deck.
Yes.
It's pretty good.
Love it.
And then who can't just shout out that there is now a dog warlock? Let's just call that
gotta
out
have
because I mean,
Well, this is
dog
also
warlocks
another one
are-
of the prepare cards, which is pretty cool. This is in the silver
Yeah.
quill one.
Yeah.
Dog warlock is a really cool creature type combo, though.
I believe Dog Warlock makes a lot more sense than Dog Wizard, because Warlock is a charisma-based class and is looking up to its patron, its owner. So
Yeah.
I'm in. If a dog is going to be some kind of spellcaster, it's Warlock in my book.
I actually think every card in this row is really good.
Yeah, it is
really, really cool.
All right, let's move into
go to
the
the next
one.
row. So here we've got a few cool ones here. Most of these ones are on the are in the precons. However, I want to talk about Dual Tactics. I think this card is really good. Dual Tactics is a 1-mana red sorcery. It deals 1 damage to target creature. It can't block this turn, and also has flashback of 1 in a red.
It's really good. It's a cool little. It's not a cantrip, but you know what I'm saying. Like it's a cheap spell. You could remove something that's in the way. You could.
You don't even have to remove it, because if you can
that's what I mean.
strike with something, yeah,
you could remove it if it's a stupid little 1 deal. You could also not remove it and then it not be able to block you. This gives me like kind of why Renin 6 was really good when it came out. Because Renin 6 you could get down on turn 2 in modern at least, and it pinged stuff and it could remove things off the board that were kind of obnoxious or needed to get off the board for some reason or another. This is kind of in that same vein for me where I'm like, man, for 1 and a sorcery, if you're on the draw, you're second up in a modern game and someone, throws down their first turn creature of whatever it is, like there are so many things you would want to kill that are only toughness of 1. So yeah, like Delver, you could take Delver out, no problem. And just not have that be as much of a threat immediately as it could have been otherwise. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff with this. And then the fact that it has flashback is also really cool, because you could do it again the next turn and keep something off the board or keep something from blocking another time.
Yep, for sure.
I do want to call out the Eccentric Pest Finder. I love the art, and this is exactly what you want to be doing if you're running pests. The pest enables the prepare, so I did want to call that out. So this one is 2 black green for a 5/5, so it's a 5/5 for 4, not bad, and it has trample. At the beginning of each end step, if you gained life this turn, this creature becomes prepared. And to turn stones, which is kind of cute, you flip over the stones and you find the bugs. You're going to create a pest token, and of course, when pest tokens die, they give you 1 life. So this thing is just an engine. It's interesting that it's a 5/5 trample, because it's like that's sort of like cherry on top in my mind. The exciting thing is you sacrifice a pest, you can make another one for 2. You sacrifice a pest, you can make another one for 2. So makes attacking into this person very difficult. And it paves the way for you to attack too.
Yeah, it really does. You could make some crazy like infinite combo. I don't want to say infinite combo, but you could do some like combo shenanigans with this because of the ability to sacrifice it. And then, sacrifice to Ashnod's Altar, make 2 colorless mana, sacrifice it to Phyrexian Altar, make a green. you could loop this quite a bit more. And then if you have, death triggers, sacrifice triggers like we saw above, like all that stuff, this can just be a value engine. And it is funny because when you look at the picture, you don't think that that's going to be a 5/5 trampler, but it is. And
so weird.
that's a thing too, and it's only for 4, so it's pretty good.
Thank
Can I
goodness
also just say
the turnstones is a sorcery, by the way.
Yes,
Thank goodness.
It being a sorcery, I think, helps it from going infinite. But
yeah.
Shout out
it
to our guy Ian. If you'll notice, we already got these prepared spells fixed on the site, so they're already being displayed the correct way.
There you go.
Did you really do that while we were on stream?
I did, yeah. I did do that while we were on stream.
What a guy.
This guy's the goat.
He's a goat or a frog or an insect cube. One of the three.
All right, let's move to the next line here. We've got, I think, 2 of the cards that are getting
the art
on
this set is amazing.
Well, the art's incredible, but also just these cards coming up are just silly.
I think we start off with the headliner of the set. So Emeritus of Ideation. This is the headliner. So you, if you're getting collector boosters, you do get a chance to pull a serialized version of Emeritus. I'm sure we've got it up here. This is what the serialized version looks like by Mark Poole.
It's
awesome.
Insane, dude.
So if you haven't seen this card, somehow, this is the thing that everyone's been talking about. This is the reprint of Ancestral Recall, basically.
They're freaking out about it.
But it's not as good as just reprinting Ancestral Recall. It does take some legwork. It is a really good card, but you got to put some work in. So Emeritus of Ideation is 3 and double blue to cast. It's a human wizard, 5/5 flying ward 2. That on its own, really good.
Really silly. Really good. Flard 2.
And then this creature enters prepared, and its prepared spell is Ancestral Recall, which is for a blue, target player draws 3 cards. They found a way to reprint Power 9.
At instant speed. Just go on.
However, so once you've done that, the way you re-prepare this one is whenever this creature attacks, you may exile 8 cards from your graveyard. If you do, this creature becomes prepared. Now, is that the only way you can do this? No.
Nope.
You can blink this thing. That's the thing that people are going to be doing. They're going to cast this. They're going to have Displacer Kitten on the battlefield. They'll cast Ancestral Recall because that's you casting a spell. That's going to trigger a Displacer Kitten, which blinks Emeritus of Ideation, who enters prepared again, and you get to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over.
So good.
As much as you have instances of 1 blue mana.
Yep. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah. I don't really have much to say other than holy shit, it's really good. That's all I have to say.
Well, I think the other one here, which is in the pre-cons that I've seen talk about, but not as much as Emeritus. I will say Emeritus of Ideation is a cycle. There's going to be 5 of these that are going to have. Go ahead, Jared. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, do all of them come in prepared like this one?
Not sure yet. This is the only Emeritus that we've seen so far. But they did say that there's going to be 5 of them. 1 for each school of magic with the main color. So this was the Prismari one. There'll be like a Witherbloom, etc. They're all going to have a prepared spell that harkens back to a powerful instant or sorcery from Alpha. Not necessarily the boon cycle, but a powerful spell from Alpha.
This is the blue one. The green one's obviously Giant Growth. The red one is Lightning Bolt. The black one is
Dark Ritual.
Probably Dark Ritual, and then the white one is
Healing Salve.
Probably Healing Salve. Yeah.
They have said that it will not be Healing Salve.
Well, then count me out.
Greg, we have not talked about that one yet, but
that one's not an Emeritus, right? The card
No,
with the wheel attached to it is not part of this cycle. It's just another prepared cycle.
Correct. There's
Yeah,
there's
cool.
another cycle of these kinds of spells that are rares. All of the Emeritus are going to be mythics. There's a cycle of rare ones from the precons, which we already talked about one of them, I think, earlier. But the other one we'll talk about is not this one. That was weird. Where is it? Aganjo Dynastorian.
Let's see.
Aganjo Dynastorian is for 2 and a white, you get a 2/3 with vigilance, and that says whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures, this creature becomes prepared. Its prepared spell is Replenish,
which is a very good spell. Really good spell.
Very good spell.
Yes, let me see if I can find the one that I think maybe we actually didn't talk about it. We didn't go. Durger Focus Mage is the one from the precon. It has Brain Geyser attached to it.
Oh yeah,
Brain Geyser. Okay. Yeah, replenish on with that effect to prepare it is pretty disgusting. I mean, all you got to do is attack with this guy and one other creature the turn after it comes down, and you can cast replenish. It's pretty gross. It's pretty gross.
Mm-hmm. Yep. These ones don't enter prepared. The ones in the precons, it seems. But there are a couple of ways to specifically prepare things. There's only going to be 2 ways of doing so outside of whatever they say on the card. There's a land where you can pay 3 to tap to prepare something, and then they said there's going to be one other way. I think it was leaked but not officially spoiled, so I don't know exactly what it is. But yeah, this is really good.
Love it.
Yep. Let's keep going. Next row.
Yeah, let's do a few more.
Next row here. I don't know if I've seen anything here that strikes specifically out to me or anything. There is Forum Filibuster, which is kind of cool, but let's keep going.
Yeah, Feral Appetite's
This card,
cool.
I really like here. Grave Researcher.
Yeah, there's another one of them. Good lord, Reanimate. Oh my god,
amazing.
This one is in the main set. 2 and a black for a 3/3. At the beginning of your upkeep, surveil 1. Then if there are 3 or more creature cards in your graveyard, this creature becomes prepared. Its prepared spell is Reanimate.
I'm fairly certain this is a nod to the Reanimator poster art from the movie Reanimator. The art on this.
It's got that vibe, dude. You would probably be right, man. You have so much like horror movie knowledge. It does have the same like color scheme.
So here's the poster here.
Oh, that's for sure it. Come on, dude.
And then if we pull up the previews, oh yeah, that's it for sure.
Right?
Yeah, that's definitely
with the little guy in the background too, right? Like,
yep.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Good job, Jared.
Very cool.
Good job, dude.
Let's see here.
I like
somebody
Gorma.
was being real clever with that. I gotta tell you, and I love
Gorma.
it.
They did. I like Gorma. Gorma's cool.
That's what I was gonna say. Gorma.
I love the art. The art is super cool.
It's another frog.
It's a frog. It's a pest frog, and it's got like a really unique effect. It's a 1/1 for 3, which seems like bleh. But whenever another creature you control dies, you put a 1/1 counter on it. And then non-creature tokens you control enter with an additional 1/1 counter on them for each creature that died under your control this turn. I feel like this could get out of hand. Quickly.
I also feel like or something.
I also feel like Gorma itself could just get out of hand.
Yep.
Well, it does specify non-token creatures enter with the counters. But if you have a
correct. But yeah, but like, you know, you sacrifice 3 things. This dude's already at 4.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. It's great. It's also interesting that it's a pest. I don't know if we have any other creatures that are pests that aren't the pest token, but it doesn't
Yeah,
have
there
the
are.
pest clause. So that's
Well, yeah,
interesting.
this is the
yeah.
because all of the alt commanders for the precons are the school mascots. So Gorma is the school mascot for
Oh, and he's the alt.
for
Okay.
Witherbloom. Yeah, he's the alt commander. And then a couple lines up, we scaled past it, but Excava, the Risen Pass, is the Lorehold mascot. It's the Spirit Horse. Yeah.
Interesting. I do think on lore, like they nailed it on this one. It does have life link, so pass die and give you life. This thing gives you life. They nailed it. It's great.
They also kind of, interestingly, they kind of retooled the pests in this set. I'm trying to pull up the token. So in the main set, the new pest tokens here, we've got. Let me pull it up here in the. We don't have to go super into her yet, but the new version of pests, whenever they attack, you gain a life. So
interesting.
Previously,
Okay.
it was about like when they were dying, but now it's sort of being retooled to attacking.
Interesting. You want the pest to attack. Oh, I always forget to call out the chat, but Greg made the greatest comments of all time in the chat there. So thanks, Greg. Yeah, it's good.
Sure thing. All right, let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep it cruising.
This next row's got some bangers, dude.
Yeah, I think this is one of the ones that people are talking about a lot at the end here. You want to bring that one up, Ian?
Yeah, let's bring it up.
Yeah, that wasn't the one I was even talking about, but this one is really good. So improvisation capstone, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile cards with total mana value 4 or greater. You may cast any number of them, which is cool, right? Without paying their mana costs. Okay, cool. But then it has Paradigm. Then after that, you exile this spell. After you first resolve a spell with this name, you may cast a copy of it from exile without paying its mana cost at the beginning of each of your first main phases. Holy shit. That's like what's that one mechanic that's
Epic.
like
Epic.
You can't cast any other spell but this one. This is like the much more insanely powerful version of that.
Well, because Epic sucked.
Epic does suck because
Epic sucks.
that's all you can do for the rest of the game. This is wicked, dude. You could do some damage here.
And this is a cycle of 5 cards as well, one for each of the 5 main colors. In Magic, each one is going to be a lesson. So there's only 5 lessons in this set. They're all going to be these massive, paradigm cards.
Is this like an emblem? Is there a way to get rid of this once you've cast it, or am I
No,
crazy?
it's in exile. It's in exile.
You would have to you'd have to counter the first copy. Otherwise, it's going to happen regardless, no matter. I mean, you can counter the copies that are being cast later, but there's no way to get rid of that.
Yeah, so it's effectively an emblem, but not, because you can still interact with it. Like, it's a cast trigger. That's another thing too. It's a cast trigger. There's all sorts of silliness, I'm sure, that's involved there. The other thing I'm curious about, right, is like not in Commander as much, but in Standard or any other format, right, where you can have more than one copy of this. If you cast this more than one time and you have 2 or 3 or 4 of them in exile, does
you
that
get the
just
effect multiple times?
Do you just trigger that 3 or 4 times a turn?
I think
twice.
So. It's checking
That's
the
what
card.
That's what I'm not 100% sure of yet. Is like with Paradigm, because you exile the spell and then after you first resolve a spell with this name, is it saying name of the spell or name of Paradigm? That's what I'm not 100% sure of. I'm assuming it's name of the spell, but we just haven't. I don't know. I have found out there is a way to interact with emblems in the game of Magic. There's one way. Do you guys know it?
You flip the table over and curse at people.
No, there's an actual in-game version of dealing with emblems and like these kind of effects. If anyone can call it out in chat, bonus points. We'll get you something.
Well, we'll give chat a minute to think hard on that. And while they're doing that and racking their brain, I do want to call out, oops, there's a free discard outlet for 2 mana in
Oh
Boros
yes.
on the left-hand side. That
Let
won't
me
be
pull up
troublesome at all.
the list.
So while you pull it up, it's Hardened Academic, which is a bird cleric for a red and a white with flying and haste. It's a 2/1. And you could just discard a card at instant speed to give it lifelink, which is cool on its own, but it's also
a free discard outlet.
It's also a free discard outlet
Mhm.
in colors that
Don't
might care
usually
about
get
that.
it, but
Well,
Don't
would, yeah.
usually.
what I
I mean,
really
red,
like about
yes,
this is
but
like
red white
I've
is
been.
interesting.
I'm so sorry, you guys. We're out of sync. We're so excited about Secrets of Strixhaven.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of standard. My main
Mhm.
deck right now is the Rakdos Rummaging deck, and I'm kind of thinking like if I can convert. I've already tried a Grixis version of it that I didn't think was as good. Maybe Mardu
Mhm.
discard.
Mhm.
I think could be
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. And there's just like a ton of things that, if listen, I still want to get a Madness deck to work. Will it ever? I don't know. But one thing that you got to do with Madness is discard stuff. And with white, you could dump a ton of stuff into your graveyard that could potentially come back, or there's equipment shenanigans you could do with this. There's all sorts of goodness with a
Mhm.
free discard outlet at any time, and on a flying haste 2/1 flyer that you'd be giving lifelink if you discarded. And it gets +1/+1 counters whenever a card leaves your graveyard, which sure, why not? Just throw
Yeah.
that in
Yep.
there too.
Put it in there.
It's good. It's good. Put a
This
bird
is
on it.
actually like this is really good for the Rakdos Rummaging deck because that deck plays like the I forget the exact name of it, but it's a Phoenix that if you control something with 4 or greater power, you can pay a red mana to return it to the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
It also plays Gravecrawler, not
Yep.
Gravecrawler, Bloodghast in that deck.
Bloodghast. Mm-hmm.
Which so like the synergy is really good. I'm probably gonna start tooling with what I want to cut for this card.
Yeah.
Maybe
Put it in.
maybe Tursa because I'm not a huge Tursa kind of runs me low in that deck. All right.
Yeah. And then I just got to call out. I'm sorry. There's just so many good cards in this row. Immoral Bargain is just really cool. It's a
Yeah.
3
What's that
drop.
do?
It's a 3 drop for 1 black and green sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this, you sacrifice X creatures and then you destroy X target non-land permanents. Anytime you give me a non-land permanent destruction card, I'm gonna put it in
Mhm.
over a lot of other cards, and this just lets you blow up a bunch of them.
So good.
It's really good. It's really
All
good.
right.
And yeah,
Before we move on,
Goose
yes,
got it.
Goose figured it out. The card that can deal with emblems is Karn Liberated.
Well, the
for its
second card
ultimate,
that can do it.
for -14 loyalty, you restart the game. That's the only way you can deal with emblems.
Besides my Flampling Emblesaur, right?
Besides Flampling Emblesaur, but Wizards said we can't talk about that card yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Sorry.
We're
we were
embargoed.
supposed to spoil that card in Reality Fracture. We were supposed to keep it top secret. I'm sorry. I'm getting fired.
God.
All right.
All right, let's keep her going.
Let's move on to probably my favorite creature type, which is going to be Inspired Sky Painter, because you always need to run a lizard wizard,
Yeah.
You
and
always need a lizard wizard.
you need to listen to King Gizzard and the Wizard Lizard while you play your
Yes.
lizard wizard at all times. So this is just so freaking fun. I just love, and the artwork is hilarious and just so cool. His little frilly collar, I just love it so much. And he's got an artist palette around him. Did he run into that? Does he just wear it? Who knows? But he is just living his best little lizard wizard life, and I love him so much.
I may not stand behind dog wizards, but I'll stand behind lizard wizards for sure. For sure.
This is the 6th total Lizard Wizard in Magic. There are now 6 of them. There were 5 prior. Now we've got the 6th.
And he is just the bestest little boy out there.
Yep. He's really good.
He's also not too bad. You can make tokens that are copies of creatures, and they don't go away. They get haste. So you could do some, copy creature shenanigans with this little guy. And whenever any creature token deals damage to a player, it becomes prepared, or when he enters, he becomes prepared. So there's some fun stuff. He's a little he's a good little dude.
He's a little guy.
Love it.
And we love him.
He's a guy. All right, we ought to move a little bit faster, y'all. We gotta keep on going.
Let's start going a little bit faster here. There's some really good cards here, but there's some we've talked about some of these.
The charm. We don't have to stop for him, but I do just want to call it the charm cycle.
Charms are very good in this set.
Charms are always.
Charms are awesome.
All right, let's stop on this line here, because this has 2 of the most interesting cards in the set. Number 1, we've got a new Planeswalker in Professor Delian Fell, which is a 4 ability Planeswalker, which they've been toying around with a little bit. This one's pretty cool. Delian Fell is 2 and black-green to cast. His +2 is you gain 3 life. Its 0 ability is you draw a card and lose a life. Its -3 is to destroy target creature. And -6 is you get an emblem with whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So this is another 1/2 card for what is it?
The Sanguine Bond.
Yeah.
Is it Sanguine Bond, or is that's Sanguine Bond?
Well, this is just one of the halves, right? I forget which half does which, but this is an emblem, so you can't interact with it, and it enters at 5, so you just have to +1 it or +2 it once, and then you can get that emblem after the turn after, if it sticks around, if you can protect it.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
This is the fair way. This is the fair way to get it out. Gives people some time to.
Nothing that says emblem on it is a fair way of doing anything.
Well, you've got 2 cards in Magic that are readily playable that allow you to blow up emblems. So I don't know. Seems
That's
fine.
True.
Sure.
Very true.
And then the other card here that we'll talk about is, I think, one of the most insane cards that's been printed in all of Magic, personally, is Prismari the Inspiration. For 5 and blue and a red, you get a flying Elder Dragon that has 7/7 and ward of pay 5 life.
Yep.
What else does it say? Nothing relevant.
What does it say?
Instant sorcery spells you cast have storm. All of them. You know how much of a headache that is for your fellow editors of games? Don't play this with them.
Oh, we should have an all Prismari game night.
All Storm.
Every one of us all Storm.
Yeah, edit
all
it yourself.
Storm all night.
I'm out. We've already had Storm on the show once. Never again.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, this thing is so gross, dude. So gross. Thank goodness it's 7 mana, but even that is seems like low on rate. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you this is going to go in. Well, I guess it doesn't necessarily go in Dragon decks because there aren't a lot of instances in sorceries, right? But still, it's really good.
Yeah. No, you're running this. You're running this like a Niv Mizzet deck.
Yeah, that's
it's
exactly.
Not a dragon.
Oh my
deck.
god, same.
It's not a dragon deck.
Same.
Yeah, that's gross.
Definitely not a dragon deck.
I think this is the most insane of the Elder Dragons, but I don't necessarily think it's the best one.
I do like Quandrix. I like
Quandrix is really good. I actually think that Silver Quill is the one that appeals to me the most personally.
It seems fun. It seems fun.
Yeah. Silver Quill, the Disputant, and like that card Shiray, um, which as long as it's on the battlefield, if a creature with power 1 dies and it's still on the battlefield at your end step, you return all of them to the battlefield. So if you're playing like black white weenie decks, everything's 1 power, and you use them to sacrifice and copy your spells, you get all those creatures back. So it's just pure value.
Yep. Pretty cool.
I think, however, the 2 most powerful ones are Lorehold and Witherbloom. Witherbloom.
Yeah, being able to miracle everything is really neat.
Yep, and you can with Library of Lang, which was like the big, like 2 cards that went together, powers really well with this, and then Witherbloom made like a 20-cent common go up to like at least $6 now. Sprout Swarm.
Yep. Yeah, it's really good. Affinity for creatures is pretty relevant. It can make things real cheap. Real cheap.
Well, I think we'll have to call it there because we still have a deck to tech.
We do still have a deck to tech.
There's so many cards to talk about. Maybe we'll do a part 2 next week or something like that, and we'll go more in depth.
I think that's a good idea. We got a lot of stuff we covered. And goodness gracious, what a bunch of great cards. I actually was building, just adding these to a deck list in Constant while we were talking through them. I got up to 26 cards on my end, which that was just what we were talking about, but there's more cards in there that I think I'd probably add because we skipped some, and oh my goodness.
Let's go ahead and while we get ready for deck tech, let's go ahead and have a word from our sponsors.
Yeah.
So we have a sponsor that we would love to shout out. Our sponsor is Big Deck Energy Games. They are deeply community focused, committed to fair pricing, genuinely passionate about the game store. It's the kind of shop where the goal isn't to squeeze every dollar out of their players, but instead to build a space where people want to play, learn, trade, hang out, have a great time playing games. The philosophy stands in sharp contrast to bigger fat cat retail entities that can sometimes forget that local game stores are supposed to be about the people first. They're based in Cathedral City, California, kind of near where I grew up, right in the heart of Coachella Valley. Sounds familiar? Yes, there's a music festival out there. Also, it's near Palm Springs if you enjoy golf. It's also near Joshua Tree National Park, which is beautiful. If you haven't been there, you should go there. If you haven't been there, you should go there and play Magic. It would be amazing. If you're out there, give them a shout out, drop in, pick up some product, hang out with them, say hi to the crew. They are an awesome group of guys and gals, and a shop that's definitely worth supporting. Check them out at bigdeckenergygames.com. We're super proud to have them as our first sponsor. Thank you again to Big Deck Energy Games for sponsoring our show. We'll hand it over to Jared, who's going to show us his deck tech.
And real quick before we do, just a quick plug for our side of sponsorship. We started all of this because there was a project to get a website up that let you build, track your collection of all your Magic cards without it being a pain in the butt. So I just want to give a big plug to Constant List, constant-list.com, made for you, by you, the community. Our Patreon is popping, but we could use your support. Every day we're making changes. We're even doing it on stream, live and in the moment. 3 tiers of support. The $2 level would mean so much to us if you could contribute to our development of the site. And, I will say, I think our user count on Constant List has gone up tremendously over the last several weeks. So we're really appreciative of people just messing around with the site, telling us what works, what they want to see. It all helps, even if you don't have a couple of bucks to spare per month. Following us on all of our socials, engaging with us in chat in the stream, engaging with us on our YouTube. It all supports our goal of continuing to foster this community and to create an incredible website that is ad-free, community-supported, and community-driven. So quick plug, no major talk track, just a little off the top for you. And with that, we will get into Y'shtola.
Yeah, and just real quick too, aside from all the thanks to all of our patrons and the folks that get into the site and give us feedback, one thing that we're toying around with is what Patreon is going to do for folks. And now with our sponsor, we've gotten into the toying around of ideas with like giveaways and things like that. Part of that's going to be supported with Patreon. So if you want the chance to potentially get some magic cards for free or for $2 a month or $5 a month, depending on what we end up doing, check out the Patreon. We're just trying to incentivize it. You'll also get access to our Discord, which is awesome. It's like the best group of people out there. We just started doing Wordle. It's no joke. It's just a great group of guys and gals, and we're having a great time there, chatting about our favorite games and our hobbies that keep us sane in this crazy world and keep us, on track as adults when life is just real wild out there right now. So, Jared, I'll pass it to you. Let's get into it. Let's talk about
Y'shtola, the Knight's Blessed.
Cat lady.
And she's a cat. And we introduced Carl the cat. I didn't even think about that.
You did that on purpose.
Purpose.
Oh, God.
God, that was awesome.
I'm already over it.
Before we really get in there, I do want to show you this oversized commander card. I mentioned this on Constant Misplays in the future because I always mention this, but one of my favorite life hacks is you buy a pre-con and you cut out the cardboard display commander from the pre-con. You see this dirty cardboard on the back? And you've got an oversized commander. So make sure you do that anytime you have a pre-con. Cool way to kind of have an alternate commander you can use if you're worried about that stuff. But let's go ahead and talk about what in the world this cat is trying to do. Y'shtola Knight's Blessed is 4 mana, 1 and an Esper. So 1 white, blue, black. She is vigilant, and she is a 2/4. I don't think her vigilance ever comes into play, really. But the 4 power is helpful. There's a lot of 3 damage, blow up a commander stuff. And so her having 4 toughness is great. At the beginning of each end step, so that's everybody's end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, you draw a card. And then it says, whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, Y'shtola deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life. So what is this deck trying to do? Well, it's trying to kill you with this second ability, so dealing 2 damage and gaining life. The life gain keeps you in the game, and then you're draining everybody down as much as you can. And then the other theme is trying to get 4 damage on the board some way, somehow, even if it's yourself. This deck gains enough life to spare plenty so that you can draw cards. So if we can get 2 cards in any given turn cycle, this deck feels like it's churning and doing really well. Bunch of different ways to play this deck. The pre-con is pretty well set up to begin with. There's a creature-heavy version of this deck. There's the no creatures version of this deck. I've built this with minimal creatures that are really supporting the plan. So anytime I put a new card in this deck, I look at all the creatures and see if I have the ability to take one of them out. Because really we're doing non-creature spells, mana value 3 or more. And if you look at the mana curve, if you scroll down to the bottom on constant lists, you'll see that the mana curve has it looks like somebody holding up a middle finger because the spike in the mana curve is at the 3 mana slot, and that is purposeful. So we're trying to cast as many 3-drops as we can to win. So 3 drops to win. All right, so the first pile we're going to go through, we're going to go ahead and do mana rocks first. So this is a nuance here. There's been a lot of hate for 3-mana rocks lately. A lot of people are saying skip the 3-mana rocks. They're just too expensive. You want to have 2-mana rocks in your deck. But in this deck, 3-mana rocks are uniquely helpful because they do trigger Y'shtola. So it is an interesting sort of game balancing the need to ramp so you can get Y'shtola out earlier, or your mana rocks serve as additional triggers of her ability. So kind of interesting there. We do start with a Soul Ring for 1 mana, and then we have a few 2-mana ramp rocks. And the reason is we just have to, we got to be able to get Y'shtola out early. So our 2-mana rocks have got some signets in there. We've got a Thought Vessel, which gives you unlimited hand size. I'm kind of going through these fast. This is helpful because you're drawing a lot of cards. The talismans tap for 2 colors and deal a damage to you. Sometimes you need to deal yourself 1 extra damage or 2 extra damage to hit that 4 loss of life limit to draw the card. And so the talismans help you do that. You'll notice the 2 talismans I've included are blue-black and white-blue. The black-white talisman I've taken out because in reality, we want as much blue mana up as possible. And so we run the 2 talismans that give us access to blue, because this deck does sort of run a lot of interaction that is instant speed and blue. How we doing so far, guys?
Good. So far, so good. Yeah, I do think it's cool when you play cards that you normally wouldn't play for we'll call it a niche reason, but like you lean into the 3 mana cost. And I don't remember if you have mana reducers in this deck or not, but that's another cool angle with a deck like this is, it's looking at the cost of the card, not what you paid to play the card. So cheating out anything, even if it's even 1 mana reduced is meaningful, because it does get you that ability. It's a cool effect.
Yeah, we do play some Phyrexian mana, some cost reduction, some ways to cheat around this 3 mana or greater clause. And actually, this is one of the newest cards I've added to this deck, and it is the 3 mana rock to start us out. I am in love with this card in this deck.
I love Bender's Waterskin.
So this deck is very much a control deck that has a lot of instant speed interaction. Because we're not playing many creatures, our best way to survive is to keep threats off of our back. And Bender's Waterskin is great to help you keep mana up for counter spells and targeted removal. So it's 3 mana. It triggers Y'shtola. It says untap this artifact during each other player's untap step, and you can tap to add mana of any color. It's essentially a free extra blue mana or cost reduction of 1 of any color every turn. So this is a very powerful 3 mana rock. I love it to death. Chromatic Lantern is the most hated 3 mana rock, but in this deck, again, access to blue is so important that we kind of have to run it. We kind of need to turn all of our lands into islands.
I mean, can I just pause there and say Chromatic Lantern is good. I think the people who are saying it's not good, I think, are a little bit out of touch with the players of this game.
I agree. And the haters always say it's because people put Chromatic Lantern into their deck so they could be lazy and not have to worry about how they're tapping. And I just think that's a cop-out. I think it's a great
It is a cop-out.
I think it's great fixing. It
is a cop-out. I think it's something people say to just get to rage bait people in and get them, engaging with content that this is a great card. Like, and that's I think what is frustrating about hearing people say it isn't, is it does a lot of good stuff. Yes, there are plenty of other cards or plenty of decks that you would never put this in. But there are a lot of decks that take this very well, and it would be a huge benefit to have in a deck, for ramp purposes, mana fixing purposes. In this case, you get a 3-drop for Y'shtola. It's a good card.
It's awesome. It's a great card. I'm a big fan. Hold on just a second, y'all. I've got kind of a weird little bug thing happening here with my camera.
And we all know Jared loves the bugs and to report on the bugs.
I'm a bug reporter. All right, here we go. Let's just make sure this works. Sorry, Zach.
All good.
Throwing off your game here. I noticed
you're
that
good.
my camera was turning off over and over, and I didn't know what the heck that was all about. But
I will just say, I really do love Chromatic Lantern. While you get that fixed up, I think the people who are saying that it's not good enough are the people who are spending, $600 on every single land base.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. You don't need to fix your mana when you spend that much money on a mana base. But honestly, like the fact that how much is this card now, Zach? Scroll down, it's like
this version's like $1. Like most versions are $1, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, why would you not?
You're getting.
Yeah, it's good for what it does, and it does what it does very well.
Yeah. I'm a Chromatic Lantern lover. I'm a Lantern lover. All right, let's quit fanboying and fangirling over Chromatic Lantern, and let's just fanboy over Commander Sphere, specifically this art. Again, not a very popular 3-mana rock. You could sacrifice it to draw a card. You could tap it for any color in your commander's color identity, but I put it in here because I am just in love with the Saturday morning cartoon D&D art on this card. And, sue me. What are you going to do? Next card, actually, when we play this deck in the future, when the next Constant Misplays episode drops, I realize that this deck had 99 cards in it, and I'm still trying to figure out what was missing. And so today, I had to get to 100 with a new card, and I decided I really needed another 3-mana rock. And so what did I do? I went into the AI tutor on Constant Lists and looked for ideas. And I was shocked that I didn't know about this card. I'm curious if anybody else remembers this card or knows of it. It is Cryptolith Fragment from Eldritch Moon. I had it in my Eldritch Moon cube, and I robbed the cube for this card, and I think it works really well and is really interesting in this deck. So it comes into the battlefield tapped, which is not amazing, but you get to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, and each player loses 1 life. So it's like a talisman for everybody, which is great because, again, oftentimes I need to eke out another damage on an opponent to hit that 4. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, if each player has 10 or less life, you transform it. And the transformation for that one, I'll pull it out here. I think my camera is acting a fool again, isn't it, Zach?
Yeah, don't worry. I'll have the preview open on the site. You just read out the card to me, and I'll have it pulled up.
Okay. I will try one more time, and we'll just see. I think it's like my phone camera is getting very
I'll pull up the back
hot.
side while we get that pulled up here.
Yep. So the back side is Aurora of Emrakul. It's flying, it's death touch, it's a 1/4, and whenever it attacks, each opponent loses 3 life. So I don't know how frequently this is actually going to come up, but I do like the fact that it flips, and then you can immediately nug somebody for 3 life, and they can't do much about it. So this was an awesome ad, came directly from the tutor, the AI tutor on Constant Lists, and I was excited to put it in there, man.
Yeah, and for those that don't know what Jared's talking about, in Deck Builder now, we didn't get to a site update, but there's a new feature in the website called Tutor AI, and it's a button in the Deck Builder. We've been putting some work into it to see if we can get a good AI engine for you to help aid in your deck building. So give it a look if you're in the site. It's really cool. Obviously, any feedback you have is more than welcome. But it's found. I mean, I'm someone who prides himself on finding really weird cards, and it's found some really weird cards I forgot existed or didn't think about putting into decks. So it's doing some pretty cool stuff.
I will say you were hovering over it, Zach, in the tutor window at the very top. That Staff of Completion, I think I need for this deck too. So
Oh,
That
dude,
is
yeah, because you could get
so
your
good.
4 life every turn, right? Because the 4 is
You
what's the
tap, pay
untap
4
cost?
life, and draw a card, and then you pay 5 to untap it.
Dude, yeah. So you could, oh my goodness, yeah, you could do some,
Yeah,
you could
very
do some
good.
damage.
I need it in my deck now. Yeah, that would be great. I will put that on my wish list. Constant List also has a wish list that I've started to fill out, so you could check out
And
my wish list.
fun fact: if you wish list a card in Tutor AI, it actually adds value to that card in the listing of cards that you already have. So it does
Oh,
learn
neat.
when you add from wish list in Tutor AI that you probably might want that card based on the fact that you brought it up for the deck that you're working in.
I love it. I love it.
Oh,
Okay.
Greg's got an extra one.
Oh, Greg. All right, let's do it, baby. Let's trade it up. So the next 2 rocks are, well, they're unconventional. They're 4 mana, and one of them isn't really a rock, but it kind of plays like one. So we'll start with the one that's a little more straightforward. White Aura Sight, I believe, came in the pre-con. And one thing to know about this deck is I did try to keep it feeling Final Fantasy. So there are some cards from the pre-con I left in here because I wanted the art to match. I wanted it to feel Final Fantasy. It may not be the best card in its place or in that slot, but it feels right. So there's a lore component. This one's 2 white. When this artifact enters, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until the artifact leaves the battlefield, and it taps for white. So it triggers Y'shtola, it's targeted removal, and it ramps you. So I really like White Aura Sight quite a lot. The next one I have is the Darkness Crystal, which isn't actually a mana rock, but kind of feels like it because there's some cost reduction. Black spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. If a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, instead exile it and you gain 2 life. We're trying to gain some life and stay alive here, so this helps. And then for 6, you can put target creature card exiled with the Darkness Crystal onto the battlefield tapped under your control with 2 additional +1/+1 counters. So again, I'm not running creatures, but I run effects that sort of give me creatures and act like creatures, but they count towards Y'shtola's non-creature limitation. So this has actually come in quite handy. It helps me put up blocks to defend Y'shtola. All right, so
I love the Darkness Crystal. I have that in my Madame Null deck.
Super fun. It's a great card. And that rounds out our ramp rock suite. The next thing we'll move to is creatures, because we don't have many. Actually, what's our creature count in this deck, Zach? 1, 2, 3.
Looks like we've got a total of 10 creatures in the deck.
10 creatures, and then I put my 1 planeswalker in this deck in the creature pile because there's no other planeswalkers. But we'll start with Emmett Setch of the 3rd seat. 2 blue-black spells you cast from your graveyard cost 2 less to cast. Whenever 1 or more opponents lose life, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. And if that spell would be put into your graveyard, exile instead. You get to do it once each turn. Because I'm running mostly instant speed interaction, this just gives me a lot of flashback opportunities with cost reduction. So it's great. It's a very, very good card.
Yeah, that's really good.
Next one, not from Final Fantasy, but kind of looks like it could be. Comball Console of Allocation. 1 white-black. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, they lose 2 life and you gain 2 life. So it's sort of like mirror mode for Y'shtola. So I'm gaining life and making people lose life when I cast non-creature spells, and this is sort of doing the same for them. It's great if there are other decks that are heavy on the non-creature. He's very good. All right. Next one. I thought I would have gotten a gross from Ian on that one, but maybe we'll get it on this one. Keen Duelist.
Nah, dude, I love Keen Duelist. You won't get a gross from me on this one. I
love
Keen
Keen Duelist as well. Big fan.
Keen Duelist is 1 and a black, and it is a silver quill card from Strixhaven. At the beginning of your upkeep, you and target opponent each reveal the top card of your library. You each lose life equal to the mana value of that card revealed by the other player. You each put the card revealed into your hand. I like this one a lot. It's helpful if there's an arch enemy at the table that isn't you, and you could sort of give away some cards while still triggering your Y'shtola. It's awesome. And then the one-sided version of this is Dark Confidant, which is in there too, which just does the same thing except not to your opponents, just to you. So at the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library, put that card into your hand, you lose life equal to its mana value. These two cards are especially useful when you've got those talismans out that lets you tap a mana to deal a damage to you, because the concentration of 3 mana spells in this deck is so high that usually Confidant or Duelist is going to nug you for 3, and you got to go find that other point of damage somewhere. And so it does help to have those talismans available and around, so that you can get that last point of damage even to yourself as needed and draw an extra card.
I do love that you run that version of Keen Duelist, which it's Silver Quilly, but it's Sheldon Menery, the father of Commander.
Yep. But it is definitely Silver Quill, right? It's quill coated.
Yeah, it's got quill vibes. Faux show.
All right, next one is our first game changer. By the way, this is a bracket 4 deck. It doesn't have to be, but I like game changers, and I don't even know that the game changers.
Oh Jesus! I gave him this card. Oh, I forgot I gave him this card.
Yeah,
you committed a war crime.
War crimes have been committed. The Grand Arbiter, Augustin the Fourth. Go ahead.
I traded this for some good stuff, so I'm okay with it. But I forgot I gave him this.
It's not bad. It's 2 white, blue. White spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Blue spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast, and it's a 2/3. I don't think I've gotten to play it yet, though, Ian.
It feels. Listen, as what you call a filthy Azorius player, it feels so good to play Grand Arbiter Augustin the Fourth. It just feels really good.
You people disgust me.
Yeah, and I did trade you the best version, in my opinion, which is the
it's gorgeous
version. He's something. It feels right. It's like it's the Azorius version of getting like Elish Norn out, or like Great Henge. Like you're constantly feeling the positive effects of it. And the table is constantly groaning at it. It's a good feeling. It's
like having a friend that always smells good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. See, you get it, dude. You can be an Azorius player with me.
I can do it. I can code switch. It's fine.
The only saving grace this card has,
Zach, so you could drop me in there if you want.
The only saving grace this card has for me is it comes from Dissension. So
yeah.
See.
Yeah.
Room for all.
And I will say, the reason I traded Ian, part of the reason I traded Ian for this card too, and this version of the card, is, to his point, the art is amazing, and it doesn't feel out of place in a Final Fantasy deck. Like, I wouldn't say it's like directly Final Fantasy coded, but it's that theme, that sort of soft anime fantasy vibes. All right. Let's go into really Final Fantasy looking and go to Papalimo Totolimo.
Papalimo.
This does come in the pre-con. 1 white, 1 black. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you gain 1 life. So this is just stacking on top of Y'shtola's ability. And so if you have her out and the Papa out, you're now doing 3 damage to the table and gaining 3 life. And there are several cards in this deck that sort of increase the pain and the life gain. So increase the pain, increase the gain. For 4, you could sacrifice it. Each opponent who lost life this turn sacrifices a creature with greatest power among creatures they control. That's a bit of a Swiss Army knife ability. We really just want that static passive ability, but in a pinch, you can remove something really nasty off of the table. All right. Next one is going to be Fan Daniel. I'm a Daniel fan. So Fan Daniel is a legendary elder wizard for 5, 4 and a black. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you surveil once. That alone is huge in this deck because we want to keep lots of instant speed interaction in our hand, and sometimes being able to dig through your deck and get there is really, really, really useful. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent may sacrifice a non-token creature of their choice. Each opponent who doesn't loses 2 life for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. It's so gross when this starts going off and you start thinking, I could use this card on top, but if I throw it in the graveyard, that's another 2 life. Yeah, we'll just do it. We'll ditch it. We'll bin it.
I just remembered that other than the game that will be coming out in the future, I've played your Ishola deck once, I think, which, funnily enough, Atali was also at that table. But I remember I was able to steal Fandaniel, and it does work. This is a card that I want to have a commander deck for. I'm just gathering all the pieces for it.
It's so cool. And it is a cool mono black spell slingery thing, which isn't like a very common trope. So I would love to see it, Zach. I think that's a great idea. We'll keep cruising. That one is in the pre-con, so keep that in mind. Next, we've got one of the twins. I think I took the other twin out. This is Alisale Levelure. 2 and a white. It partners with Alphanod Levelure. And that one, I think, is blue, if I remember correctly. It's got first strike, and it's got the second spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. So very powerful double spell cost reduction, which, of course, this deck wants and needs. So you're seeing the theme here. The creatures feel necessary. They feel like they're really pushing the deck further, because we are having to decide between yet another Y'shtola trigger or a creature. And so they've all been really thoughtfully curated. Lise Hexed is 1 white blue. She's got prowess, which doesn't typically mean anything in this deck because we're not really attacking. Non-creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So again, some cost reduction. And as long as you've cast 2 or more non-creature spells this turn, it has double strike. I will tell you, this deck, as much as I enjoy 3 mana to get some cost reduction, this creature is on the chopping block. So it's in my considering remove. But it is still good, and it does still help. The last real creature is from the greatest set of all time, Ether Drift. There's 2 things I like about Ether Drift. I like the PP lands because I think they're so ugly and I'm just in love with them. And I do like the Gear Hulk cycle. And I've loved the Kaladesh Gear Hulks from the very beginning. And so I was excited to include this one. This one is 1 white, blue. So the Gear Hulk cycle for Ether Drift is 2 color. It's got double strike, it's got prowess, and when this creature enters, for each opponent, put up to 1 target non-land permanent that controls into its owner library, 3rd from the top. This thing is a blowout, y'all. It's a great little blocker with double strike, and it's a 3 for 1, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's very good. In the current game of Commander, single target removal oftentimes feels like you're behind because you do have 3 opponents, and this is sort of a way to even the stakes a little bit. So it's symmetrical. And so love that one. I feel like Ian, as the Azorius player, you might have thoughts here, so I'll pause.
I love the Gear Hulks. Torrential Gear Hulk is probably one of my probably up there with one of my favorite cards. Came at a time where I was in standard pretty heavy. It was just it won Pro Tour or helped win Pro Tour that year. It's a great card, and the Riptide, it's a cool effect. I like it. It has double strike. I love it has prowess. It can do some work for sure, and the fact that it tucks it tucks cards. It doesn't remove them, but it tucks them is actually kind of, I would say, almost more annoying because the person knows that they don't get their card right away, but they will get it, but then they have to recast it anyways. So it's yeah, I do like it.
Sweet. All
And
right,
if you blink this thing, yuck. Just
yuck.
mm-mm.
I don't know. I don't think I have any ways to blink, but I guess we'll see. And you're right. I mean, this definitely goes in a serious blink deck.
How much is a copy of Riptide Gear Hulk?
Wait, let's
230.
get.
Oh, it's
let's
only a
get.
couple bucks.
Let's get.
Yeah.
I was gonna say let's get Jared's guess, but oh well.
Wow.
Yeah,
no.
I didn't spend too much on it for sure. It wasn't bad.
I mean, it is from
but
Ether Drift, so.
my
Yeah,
other
that's true.
favorite lady, yeah, it's the best set. I think give it 20 years and Ether Drift cards are going to be amazingly expensive because everybody hated that set. Let's talk about my other favorite girl. It's Liliana showing up in her Strixhaven variant, Professor Onyx. This is another considering all of her effects are really like in sync with what the deck wants to do, but oftentimes spending 6 mana on the professor is tough. Like it puts you in some pickles. But let's read it. So it's 4 black. She starts out at 5 loyalty. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So it doubles, the damage. If you got Y'shtola and Professor Onyx out, spells are doing 4 damage to the table. So right there, it's fantastic. But again, at 6 mana, it's a little awkward. Its +1 is you lose 1 life. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand and the rest in your graveyard. Awesome. Its -3 is each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls. Again, if you're popping this out for 6 and you can blow up the biggest threat on the board and several of them, it is very good. So no lies, it's great. I just have noticed that it either dies in my hand or gets blown up before it can really be effective. So I think the problem here is because I'm so creature light, I don't have many ways to defend her. And I think that's where it becomes a liability. It's a lot of a mana investment, and it's hard to really keep her alive. And then her -8, which never happens, is each opponent may discard a card. If they don't, they lose 3 life. Repeat this process 6 more times, which I thought was like the dirtiest, most amazing, like almost like Rakdos coded ultimate.
I mean, it's Torment of Hailfire, right?
It's so good. Yeah. So good. So Professor Onyx fits the theme of the deck. It does what we want to do. It just has underperformed because it's vulnerable, and so we'll see.
It does trigger Y'shtola.
It does.
Yeah.
Of course, it triggers her. Yeah, you get the trigger off of her. So.
It does. I have a hard time in a lot of decks playing Planeswalkers, primarily for some of the reasons you described. They can be tough to keep alive, to not get targeted. Weirdly enough, the deck that has the least issue with that is my Elminster deck, which strangely Elminster just gets enormous because he's so like non-threatening that people just don't realize that they should get rid of him. It's really odd, but I've had him on the board for like an entire game and just nobody attacks him. But for some odd reason, if I play a Planeswalker that isn't a commander, I can't seem to keep them on the board. They just get taken out.
Very tough. But I'm going to keep her in there. I'm going to, I don't get to play this deck very often because we're not, I'm not sitting at these like high powered bracket 4 tables as often as I could, I suppose. And so I'd like to get more reps with the deck. It's sort of like a very specific pod to play this deck with. The next pile is going to be Y'shtola Defense. So defensive for Y'shtola and upgrades to Y'shtola. So the first upgrades you want for Y'shtola, oh my God, these are so gross. It's like unreal. We want to give Y'shtola lifelink. Because she deals damage to players and gains life, but why not gain 3 times as much life? And so we have Spirit Link, and so mind you, with Life Link on Y'shtola, she's going to deal 2 to each opponent, so that's 2 times 3, that's 6. I'm already gaining 2 life. So Y'shtola with lifelink gains you 8 life per spell. I promise you, it's disgusting and people hate it. So if we're going to do that once, let's do it twice. Let's do a Cartouche of Ambition, which costs 3, so it triggers Y'shtola, which is great. And it gives Y'shtola lifelink and +1/+1. Doesn't really matter the rest of it. It's there to give her lifelink. Lastly, on the lifelink quest, the Basilisk Collar just gives Death Touch and lifelink. It costs 1. It equips for 2.
And
So that is. Go ahead.
Just to note, sorry, real quick, just to note, Spirit Link is a different type of lifelink. So
Oh yeah,
it
you can double
actually
up. You're right. You're
it
right.
it it triggers differently than lifelink triggers.
Yeah,
Because
Spirit Link
it's
does
a
go on the stack.
yeah. So you effectively, if you have Spirit Link on Y'shtola with lifelink as well, you're double
Double.
dipping in that case.
Yep, it's really gross. That has not happened yet, but God forbid any of those 3 cards land on Y'shtola, you're in trouble. And so for that reason, it's really important to have some protection for Y'shtola. There's not, the real protection is counter spells in this deck, but we have a couple of pieces that are helpful. The Lightning Greaves, of course, is great. Once you get a Greave on Y'shtola, you're in a great spot. And then this is a card that never gets played, but it's one of my favorite cards from when I was younger. Pemin's Aura is so fun. It's a 3-mana enchantment, so it triggers Y'shtola. It's 1 blue, and you have options. Each of those options costs a blue, and then the last one is colorless for whatever reason. One of the options is pay a blue, untap it. Pay a blue, enchanted creature gains flying. And then the third one is the most important. Pay a blue, enchanted creature can't be the target of spells or abilities this turn. And then the last one is enchanted creature gets +1/-1 or -1/+1, which does come up. You can bump her up a couple of points on toughness, taking down her power to avoid, direct damage and things of that nature. So I have responded to like a fight spell. Either by giving her, Shroud or, increasing her toughness. So
Yeah, well,
great card.
this turns any creature into Morphling, which if you're
Yep.
not familiar with Morphling, it's like Urza's Saga, prime time, just banger from back in the day. And this was a really crazy, let's just give any card the ability to be a Morphling, which is really, really good.
Yep. And then these last 2 cards are both commons or uncommons that spiked up because of this deck in particular. I'm actually curious where they're sitting now that this deck's had some time to cool off. Sigil of Sleep, super gross. They don't print the wording on this way anymore. It says when enchanted creature deals damage. Now they would say combat damage to a player. Return target creature that player controls to its owner's hand. So you have this on Y'shtola. You cast any 3 mana or more non-creature spell, and now all of a sudden you are bouncing 3 freaking creatures, 1 to each opponent's hand. It's bad. It's real bad.
Well,
Disgusting.
going into the future in my time machine, when we played this game in the future,
Careful.
I had to reread it and then had a moment.
It's
And
not
that's
a May.
all we'll say about
it's
that.
Not a May.
It's not a May.
Say that.
It's not a May. It is not a May. It's gonna happen. Yeah, Sigil of Sleep is super gross, and in the very same way Sigil of Sleep is gross, Ophidian Eye is just as gross. Ophidian Eye has flash. Enchant creature. When enchanted creature deals damage, not combat damage, to an opponent, you may draw a card. So yeah, each spell draws you 3 freaking cards, and if you double spell, you're getting an extra card off of Y'shtola. You're drawing a whopping 6 cards that turn. Yuck, freaking yuck.
I'm not sure if they still have it, but shout out to our local game store, Adventures in Ink. They have this on their like display case of like really cool cards, and I've been eyeing it for a while. It's not even that expensive. I think it's like a little bit less than like $15, but
Yep.
it's a really great card.
When this deck came out, it popped up to 21-ish, give or take. I actually have an extra copy, so maybe
Well, I think
we'll do
this card and VV.
Yeah, VV is another one.
Yep. Cause
That's
like,
right.
Yep. All right, so that's
right.
our kind of like our oh crap protection suite for Y'shtola. Y'shtola upgrades. This is Y'shtola's arsenal, if you will. We could keep going. The next pile, and we'll keep this fairly quick, is the interaction pile. Lots of counter spells, lots of targeted removal, with some caveats. And all of these pretty much are 3 or more in terms of their mana cost. Some of them have cost reduction. And really, when we think about cost reduction in this deck, it's the ability to double spell. So it's not necessarily making spells cheaper. It's that we get a second spell off. And so consider that when we're going through these. Reroll. This is a reprint of Rewind, which is one of my absolute favorite counter spells in the game. Counter target spell, untap up to 4 lands. So this allows you to double spell. Fierce Guardianship, of course, is a free counter spell as long as you control your commander, but it costs 3, so it counts. Void Rend blows up a non-land permanent and is uncounterable. Absorb is a 3-mana counter spell that gains you 3 life. Undermine is its inverse. It's a counter spell that loses an opponent 3 life. Saw it coming. I foretell it and cast it on the cheap, but it still costs 3, so it triggers Y'shtola. Poison the Cup is Saw It Coming's best friend in black. Same thing, except you destroy a creature, and if it was foretold, you scry 2, which is super cool. Fell the Profane is destroy target creature or planeswalker, but it has a land. It's a double-face modal card, so you could play it as a swamp tapping or a black generating land on the other side. Imprisoned in the Moon is like the most grown test single target remover for commanders. Turns commanders into friggin' lands.
I heard that laugh, Ian. You shut it.
Not fun.
I can't help myself. It's just so good.
Vindicate, another 3-mana destroy target permanent. Observe Stasis, another shut something down. Basically, the most important part of this is enchanted creature loses all abilities and can't attack or block. But there's a little upside. You get to draw cards for tap creatures that an opponent controls. So this is meant to be cast during combat, but you don't have to. Snuff Out, also another freebie. You could pay 4 life rather than pay the spell's mana cost. And of course, that's freaking amazing because 4 life is exactly how much you want to pay. So you can draw an extra card, and that destroys a non-black creature. Keeping it going, we're going to blow up a non-land permanent with Memories of Nibelheim, and its controller gets a 1/1 creature token, which is like, it's group hug. I'm giving you something. It's good. And then another Final Fantasy coded one, and I love having anything in my decks that have 9,999. It's Overkill. Triggers Y'shtola. Target creature gets -0, -9,999 until end of turn. If I were going to add more of these, it would be more counter spells. There's several. There's a lot of them. But you could really go, even heavier in the control direction with this deck and add some more counter spells in there. All right. Second to last pile, and the last pile is lands, but we're going to go so fast on those.
Greg is asking if you've considered Curiosity in the deck.
I have considered Curiosity. Yeah, Curiosity's in my considering pile. I don't think I have Propaganda in here yet because I didn't have a copy available, but that's in my considering pile.
Propaganda's in the list.
Is it?
I think it came in the pre-con, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, maybe it is in there. Okay, good. Yeah, but Curiosity is definitely in the considering pile. All right. The rest of these are going to be a mixture of spells that cost 3, and actually I missed a targeted removal, and this is a good one, so we'll start there. Dismember is amazing, and I love this art, even though it doesn't really match Final Fantasy. I just friggin' love these horror movie posters. It costs 3, but it's got Phyrexian mana. So you can, instead of paying for the 2 Phyrexian swamps, you could basically nug yourself for 4 and give a target creature -5/-5. Every time I do this, I'm going to nug myself for 4 and pick up the Y'shtola trigger to draw a card. So it's great, and it's instant.
Dismember is awesome. It's just a classic.
Really good.
And it's so good against things that have indestructible and all that silly stuff that, you can get around when you do minus abilities.
No kidding. It's so good. Now, I will say another card in my considering or want pile for this deck is Slaughter. If you want to bring that up, Slaughter and Dismember are very similar. Slaughter is a 3 mana kill spell, but it has buyback, pay for life. And so in a similar way, you can pay for life and get that trigger and then keep this stupid targeted removal in your hand at all times.
That Pete Venter's Exodus art is incredible.
So cool. So if anybody's got a Slaughter laying around, it's not an expensive card. It's probably $5 or so. I need it. I just have to look it up. Hey, all right. I know when it comes to like deck building.
We did recalibrate you. We recalibrated you earlier.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, it processed.
Next up is Fabricate. Fabricate is a 3 mana search your library for an artifact card. We're almost always searching for Lightning Greaves or Basilisk Collar to protect Y'shtola or, kind of dip into the extra life stuff. But it triggers her, so it's useful. Eye of Nidhogg is from the precon, but I just got a Surge foil version of it. Enchanted creature is a black dragon with base power and toughness 4/2, has flying and death touch, and is goaded. And when it is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return it to owner's hand. So that's the most important of this. This is a repeatable 3 mana spell. It does get big threats off of your back too. So this card works really well in this deck, like really well. Once you got an eye in your hand, you're triggering Y'shtola a lot, and you're playing mind games with the whole table because that goated creature, they don't want it to die, and it's just it's chipping away at other people. So that's a very good one. Another game changer. I think this is game changer 2 so far. We got Necropotence, my favorite art, of course, and the black border, which is amazing. Necropotence allows you to pay life and set aside cards, and then they go into your hand. There's a little bit of nuance there, but for the sake of time, I'll leave it at that. It's extremely powerful because you can sacrifice as much life as you want and effectively put that many cards into your hand. So really good card. It's only costs like $5 or $6. No big deal.
Pretty close. Right. This is arguably one of the first cards that just like warped how the game was played. Literally, it's a really cool. There's a lot of cool history around this card.
Ice Age, right?
Age. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ice Age, and it's just super unique. I don't think they've made other things kind of like it, but it is very much its own card. The art is so classic. It's a kind of a quintessential Magic card. And if you haven't played it before, it's really cool when you have it.
Feels good.
Feels good. You can do some fun stuff.
Yeah, I would say this is the progenitor of game changers. If Commander was as big as it is now back when Ice Age was around, this would have been the thing that Wizards was like, uh-oh.
This wouldn't have been a game changer. This would have been banned if Commander was around then.
Probably so. I mean, people get real mad about Gristlebrand, and it costs freaking $7 and it's banned. This card costs $3. Come on now. Anyway, we're going to try to prevent people from attacking, so we have a couple of ways to do that. We got War Tax, which is an interesting one. A lot of people don't play this card, but I'm a big Mercadian Masks fan. This one, 3 mana, so it triggers Y'shtola, X and a blue. Creatures can't attack this turn unless their controller pays X for each attacking creature. For 2 mana, I'm holding up mostly 2 and 3 mana in this deck anyway. And so being able to tax somebody instead of use a counter spell when it counts is really good in this deck. So War Tax is great. Also, when it's on when it's on the board and you've got mana open, and maybe you do have targeted removal or interaction or a counter spell, your opponents respect it and they don't attack you anyway. So it almost is free a lot of times. They're like, oh, Jared's got mana open, so there's no use in attacking him. And so that's how it plays out. It's kind of a bluffy card, I would say. Propaganda has that tax built in, and that tax is 2. So for 3 mana, creatures opponents control, you got to pay 2 mana for each attacking you. So it's fabulous. Transpose is from the precon, so I left it in here. Draw a card, then discard a card and lose a life. If this spell was cast from your hand, you get to create a black wizard creature token. That was one of the sub-themes of this deck in its precon form, and so I don't know, Zach, if you want to pull up the black wizard creature token, you could kind of see what that does, and we'll have a few cards that reference that black wizard creature. So the black wizard creature token is a 0/1, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. So again, this is another mechanism we're using to increase that symmetrical damage to the board when you're casting non-creature spells. So I think I have another one in here. Circle of Power also creates one of those black wizards. You do get to draw 2 cards and lose 2 life in addition. And then all wizards get +1/+1 or +1/+0 and gain lifelink until end of turn, which is fine. The lifelink
is Y'shtola a wizard?
Y'shtola is a warlock, actually.
Oh,
so
that's kind of
Man,
kind of a weird, interesting miss there.
Missed opportunity.
Probably lore reasons. And then I think that's it. Oh, I guess the other wizard's card is sort of a wizard, a black wizard. It certainly has a black wizard featured on it. It's Black Mage's Rod. It's a job select card. There was a lot of job select in the precon too. Reason being is job select creates a creature token and attaches equipment to it. And so you're getting a creature, but it's a non-creature spell. This is another potential remove. But I like the art. I like how Final Fantasy it is.
I was going to say, because it's a non-creature, but it's only 2.
It's only 2. I wish this card was 3. I would keep it in there if it costs more, which is so weird.
I'd ditch that. You should just take that out right now on stream.
It's 2 mana. Put out, make a black mage, but you can move it around. I do need to put either Slaughter, or I do have a copy of Windfall that I want to put in this deck, so maybe that'll be replacement.
Let me just go ahead and use the suggest feature here.
Yeah, get in there. Slaughter would be amazing. So if somebody's got Slaughter, Azixa, if you're still on stream, get it. All right, let's keep things cruising. Let's do some more.
Make sure you do a super accurate description of why we're suggesting to remove that card.
Because it sucks. Is that
I'm not friends. No. I'm not friends with Jared.
No, you're good. No, you're good. You just gotta. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
I'm not friends with Jared. Well, my message was bad card, you stupid dummy.
I see it. I see it on the stream. It's good. Okay, let's go into game changers, because why not? Well, here's the 3-pack. We've got Unstable Harmonics as Rhystic Study. We've got Smothering Tithe, and we've got Teferi's Protection. Do I even need to go through those? They're
no
game changers.
No.
And they're amazing in that deck.
You're gross, but I love you.
This one might be even more effective or impactful than a game changer. Vial Consumption is disgusting in this deck. It's 3 mana, so it triggers Y'shtola. All creatures have at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice it unless you pay a life. Oh my god, this thing draws you more cards than Rhystic Study, I feel like.
It's really good.
It's really good. It's real freaking good. So Vial Consumption's great. Rite of Replication is a way for me to get a creature on the board without having a creature in my deck. So pay 4, create a token that's a copy of target creature, and you can kick it for an extra 5 and create 5 of those tokens. That gets really fun. But it's really there just to provide a flexible blocker. And if somebody's got just something insane on the table, like an Itali, whew, get ripped. So good. It opens up a lot of really cool scenarios. Mind control. I guess this kind of counts as single target removal, but steal a thing triggers Y'shtola. Cleansing Nova is my came in the pre-con board wipe. It is the 5-mana board wipe from Final Fantasy, at least one of them. Destroy all creatures and destroy all artifacts and enchantments. Yeah, it's always good to have a board wipe, I suppose.
You do choose one of those modes, right?
Choose one. Yep.
Okay.
It's not a farewell. Acquire is the next one. Search target opponent's library for an artifact card, put it into play under your control, and then the player shuffles his or her library. We can search out somebody's Soul Ring. We can grab somebody's Lightning Greaves or their Swiftfoot Boots. That's the typical lean. But I've picked up a monument before that was gross, like an Eldrazi monument. I've done some weird ones. Next one is Dancing Chakrams. This is another way to get Y'shtola lifelink. It's just kind of in a weird roundabout kind of way. It is another job select card. It did come with the deck. It could be cut, and it might be. And so it comes down. It's an artifact. And it's so you get a 1/1 colorless hero token and attach this to it. A equip creature gets +2/+2, has lifelink, and other commanders you control have +2/+2 and have lifelink. So it does give Y'shtola lifelink, and then you also get this other body that can block. I
don't hate it because it does.
It's better than the other one.
It gives you a blocker with lifelink,
and it gives Y'shtola lifelink. Just natty. It's not bad. It's pretty good. All right. Exsanguinate is a finisher. The hope is that you can whittle people down enough to blow them out with an X damage spell, or buy yourself some extra turns if you're in danger by gaining a bunch of life. It's X. Basically, target opponent loses X life. You gain X life. So very good in this deck. Very useful towards the end of the game. And then the MVP, one of the only non-creature spells that is not 3 mana and above, Authority of the frickin' Consoles. It's insane. It's 1 mana. Creatures your opponent's control enter tapped, and whenever a creature an opponent controls enters, gain a life. It's busted, and you'll see why in just a matter of time. So that is pretty much the deck. I've got a few lands to show off here before we wrap, but the thing I've noticed about Y'shtola is it's one of my highest powered decks on paper, but because she is so hated, or was when Final Fantasy came out, people just love to kill her and treat her like she was the second sort of, like she was a Tali. And she's not quite that crazy. At least in
she's powerful,
though. She's not that crazy, but she is powerful, and she is a bit of a glass cannon, because if you can't protect her, you're kind of you're not the threat. So
she is the number 5 most popular commander now. I think she's proven that she's very good. She is kind of like a commander that you can build so many different ways.
So many
having that kind of versatility where there's no specific one way to build it. You could go for just off the top of my head, you could go for Super Friends with this kind of, because they're all non-creatures. You could go for an equipment deck because they're all non-creature spells. So many different cool ways that you can build it. I think that has a lot of the versatility there. However, she is very, very powerful if left to grow.
Yep. And she will be a fun commander today and 20 years from now, and there will be so many different ways to approach this deck as the years continue to go. Like Esper Spellslingers is such a unique version of spell slinging. You could really just cobble together. You go find every 3-mana counter spell and Y'shtola, and that's a version of the deck. Like, you know, people hate you for it. I've tried to keep my counter spells. You saw it's a lot less than maybe it feels at the table. It's not like I have 15 or 20 counter spells in the deck. There's like 7 or 8. But, you know, it's enough to feel controlling, enough to give the impression that there's always a counter spell coming, which is really good. Lands. I don't know why I put the Creeping Tar Pit in here. Maybe just in case I needed a blocker in an emergency. But, you know, it's a tap land that taps for blue and black. And you can pay 3 and turn it into a 3/2 unblockable. Whatever. It's fine. Core Haven is a protection for commander damage, which is really important in this deck because oftentimes you gain a ton of life, and the only way people can reason out a kill is with commander damage. So Core Haven is actually one of the cheaper of this tap land cycle. Like Yavimaya Hollow, I think, is like $100 or at least $60. And Core Haven, I think, is only, you know, less than $20 for sure.
Yeah, it's like 15.
Yeah, this is a banger. Get this card. Get this card. It's amazing.
Yeah.
For commander damage. It's so good.
Core Haven it's an unsung hero.
Truly.
I mean, it also prevents combat damage triggers. It's just really good. Very
It's
versatile.
really good. So it's 1 and a white, and you tap it and prevent all combat damage that would be dealt by target attacking creature this turn. So you usually see me kind of putting this to the side with a couple of planes parked on top of it to remind myself to keep it untapped. And usually the reason I lose with Y'shtola is I end up tapping out over a bad decision. So don't do that next time, Jared. It's a bad call. Just keep your mana untapped. Then we have some of the pretty lands. This is a Alexander Kabazi land from a Secret Lair. I got the blue and the black of these. I think they're really neat. They're not super Final Fantasy, but they're blingy. And then we have Ishgard, the Holy Sea, which is an adventure card that is also a land that taps for white. The adventure is Faith and Grief. It says it's 3 white, return up to 2 artifact or enchantment cards from your graveyard to your hand. You know, you get back your Rhystic Study, your Smothering Tithe, etc. And then there's not really anything else to talk about here, just some lands. You know, I would say, you know, put together whatever kind of Esper, you know, package you want to put together. I've got a ton of tap
minus
lands
the scrub land.
You know, nothing crazy, but like, I mean, most of these are not expensive, to be honest. Besides,
an exotic orchard. Whoa,
chill out over there, dude.
I will say, I was really hyped on the adventure lands when they were previewed, and I don't think I'd ever put any actually in a deck.
Well, you should. You should try hard.
I took them out of all the decks that I did put them in, just because I didn't find them being useful enough. I don't know.
I don't know that I've ever cast the adventure side of that land, so you're probably right, to be honest. But that's the deck. What do you guys think?
I like it.
It's great, dude. And you know, I've played it, I think, a couple times now. I think I played it the first time with you before you had done a lot of upgrades to it. So, you know, it's come a long way. I like a lot of the upgrades you did. I think, you know, there are some things I saw that we already talked about, like you could probably pull and change out with some other 3 drops, but it's good. It does its job very well, very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely. I'm a fan. You know, I spent the full MSRP on that pre-con, and I think I've always wrestled with this premise that, you know, I wanted to upgrade the pre-con, and then I went further than 10 in, 10 out. And then the precon just started looking like a Y'shtola deck that I could have built from scratch and not paid $70 for the precon.
Yeah.
And that's the part that kind of gets me and gets me going. Well, I got a bunch of game changers, but I have a bunch of lore picks that aren't ideal too. But yeah, I mean, I think the Black Rod has to go, and I need the Slaughter in there for sure. That's just got to go in there.
Can I also
Black
just say,
Rod.
like,
Yeah,
oh,
go ahead.
dang it, I lost my train. Sorry.
Black Rod, and then I'm not a fan of the chakrams. I think I could do without the chakrams. I get it. It's a life linker. You get a little blocker dude. That's cool. But I don't know. I feel like you could put something in there that would do more work.
Well, I'll tell you what I
Okay.
would put in there is the Helm of the Gas Lord instead of the Chakra.
Mm.
Yeah,
I know what I was gonna say. So even if you take out the scrubland from this deck and you click on budget mode in constant list, sorry, jeez. I don't think I could do it in the deck list here, but your version like is pretty considerable. It's not a budget deck, but it's like $400. I think that's like on the pretty reasonable side of a commander deck, and this is something that can easily rock at a bracket 4 table.
Yeah. It is potent for sure, and yeah, I mean you're right. The scrubland is look. That's just
If you
I've got
got
a
it,
couple
play
of
it.
them.
You know.
Yeah, why
You're
not?
dude, you're just flexing. It's all good. We get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you said Helm of the Gas Lord. I would say yes, and Steel of the Godhead. I think Steel of the Godhead would be real good. It's a 3-drop. If the enchanted
I
creature is
love these
white,
cards.
yeah, dude. If the enchanted creature is white, it gets 1/1 and lifelink. If the enchanted creature is blue, it can't be blocked. Uh, it's pretty good. That card does some work. And then there's also a black
that
and white
enchantment
one.
cycle is just incredible. I love those cards.
Man, I wish it was +2 though, because then Y'shtola could actually be unblockable and nug people for 4. That would be so good.
It does. It does.
She would. She would.
Oh,
because she gets
if
+1
she's
+1.
white, she gets
If
plus
she's
one.
white,
If she's blue,
right.
she also gets +1. It stacks like how Grand Arbiter does.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's a good one. All right. I'll put it on my wish list. Put it in suggested.
I would if
here,
you had me.
I'll send it to I'll send it to you as well, Jared.
That sounds good.
Which
You
I
mean
just
in person,
got
right? Like you have one and you're going to give it to me?
I actually think I might have one. I'll check. But I got a card previews to actually work with Constant List now, so it'll show you the card and in the link when I send it to you.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, well, close us out. I did a whole lot of talking. So
you did. I got you. Well, here we are again, 2.5 hours in, and we could have kept going, I'm sure. Geez Louise, Strixhaven really we got super excited about. So clearly, we're going to have more to say as more of the cards come out. We'll have probably next week more to talk about. With what
we have a whole nother week of previews.
Yeah, with what gets spoiled. So it's another great week. Thanks again for joining all that did. I know last week was it was crazy. We just all had a heck of a week, so we took 1 week off, but we don't plan to do that too often. But yeah, again just humbled that everyone joins, spends their Thursday nights with us, hangs out, talks about Magic. Just couldn't be happier to be here every week with my 2 pals and the rest of you that join. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to Zach again for producing. It's pretty incredible to think that all this is happening and Zach is still jumping in with all of his nuggets of Magic trivia and knowledge and recommendations and running the site and making sure that our technical difficulties don't completely show themselves at all times. So Zach, thanks so much for producing as always. Jared, the host with the most. And we'll see you next week. Thanks again for joining. Have a great rest of your Thursday, everybody. Talk to y'all later.
See ya.
See y'all later. Tune in to Constant Misplays Wednesday and Rough Draft on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.